Thanks, Bronwyn. First, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are gathered and pay my respects to elders both past and present, and any elders that may be here with us today. I'd also like to thank the Minister Richard Wynne, VBA Chief Commissioner Michelle McLean, and VBA CEO Sue Eddy, and all the presenters and panellists for your informative addresses and input yesterday and this morning. And thank you to Bronwyn once again for your contributions to the conference this year and in the last 3 years. Your passion for the building industry is admirable, and we appreciate the effort you put in behind the scenes as well as on the day. The building industry has faced its fair share of challenges in the past year, but continues to be pivotal to the livelihoods of so many Victorians and the economic prosperity of our state. This year's conference theme, Navigating the Evolution, sums up our industry at present. It is both an exciting and challenging time to be involved in the building industry and to be a building surveyor. This slide represents just some of the exciting things that will carry the building industry forward towards 2028. In the coming months and years, I believe we are uniquely placed to reshape and improve the building industry for the better. At the heart of this is the role of building surveyors. The success of the planned reforms to the building industry rely heavily on building surveyors, and that's why we need to invest in the building surveyors of the future. And that was discussed at length during yesterday's session. While there will always be uncertainty as we move into the future, the reform projects the government is leading and VBA plays a strong role in will look to future-proof our industry. In the short term, we all need to look at ways of operating more efficiently. How can we use our resources for best value? Implementing more digital solutions, better use of innovations such as remote inspections, and collaborating with industry to reinforce technological advancements and prepare for changes in our industry. These are just some of the important elements of our evolution. Coupled with this, key reform projects, which Minister Wynne mentioned yesterday. Not only the expert panel recommendations, which I know will be pivotal for our industry moving forward, but also mandatory continuing professional development, which is key to a more consistent building of knowledge, and the introduction of automatic mutual recognition and trades registration. All these will require careful navigation to be successful. As we look further into the future, data and artificial intelligence will play a more crucial role, as building information may be captured and updated in real time with sophisticated analysis possible. This, coupled with things like modular construction and increased automation, will be areas that we all need to watch, and we need to be ready to respond and adapt. The development of smarter and sustainable buildings will also no doubt change our traditional construction methods, and with that, with those challenges comes new opportunities for building surveyors. The VBA is committed to safeguarding Victoria's future, and with this responsibility comes the need to adapt and change for future needs. This is why, as presented yesterday by Chief Commissioner Michelle McLean, the VBA has developed an ambitious strategy for the next 5 years to help us develop and evolve to better meet these challenges. So I'd just like to quickly update, provide a quick update on the activities of the Office of the State Building Surveyor over the past year. Last May, the VBA welcomed Dr. Bayer Zagul as Principal Structural Engineer. He provides invaluable structural engineering technical input for the Office of the State Building Surveyor and the broader VBA, and further strengthens and improves our technical capabilities. We're also in the process of recruiting for a Principal Plumbing Specialist to enhance our technical capability and leadership and industry involvement in this important area. The Office of the State Building Surveyor steers a lot of the VBA's stakeholder engagement and has collaborated with the industry and government to provide significant support and advocacy for reforms. Since the VBA released guidelines on remote video inspections in August 2020, our plumbing inspection services teams have completed nearly 2,000 virtual audits last financial year and more than 900 virtual audits in the first half of this financial year. These virtual audits have proven a useful addition to our in-person inspections, and we look forward to developing capabilities further and exploring opportunities such as remote training and experience opportunities for those that are having difficulty obtaining the required experience for registration. And this is particularly important for those in regional areas. The implementation of the Code of Conduct for building surveyors was a significant milestone for the industry and will require ongoing education and awareness from not only building surveyors, but other practitioners. The statutory function of a building surveyor plays an important part in our regulatory system. And as a profession, we need to lead by example and be strong advocates for public safety and display independence in our decision making and avoid all conflicts that may erode public confidence in the building industry. I look forward to the session this afternoon that will further explore some Code of Conduct experiences from industry and the next steps that may be needed to continue improving behaviours and consistency in this area. There was, of course, a little over a year ago, more than 700 building practitioners gathered virtually for the 2021 Building Surveyors Conference to hear industry experts discuss emerging trends and take part in interactive forums. The theme of last year's conference was Reset and Rebuild, with presenters discussing the need to prepare for a fundamentally different new normal. I'm pleased to say we had over 800 registrants for this year's conference, and I urge you to participate in the post-conference survey to ensure we continue to improve this event. As I mentioned earlier, education and training remains an important priority for the VBA and for industry. We heard in yesterday's panel session about the Building Surveyor Career Pathways program that was launched in February last year in partnership with VMIA and DBDRV. This program has proven to be a very successful one and a strong first step in addressing building surveying shortages. This is one of many avenues to improving the supply of building surveyors, and it is pleasing to hear from Anna Cronin and the expert panel that this is a focus of the panel's recommendations as well. In 2021, the VBA's Practitioner Education series delivered 11 webinars for building surveyors. These webinars had an extremely high attendance rate and lots of constructive and positive feedback was provided to the VBA. Thank you for prioritising your own learning amidst the disruptions caused by COVID-19 and demonstrating your commitment to improving your skills and knowledge. The VBA also continues to chair regular meetings and work directly with impacted councils, DELT, Bushfire Recovery Victoria and the Municipal Association of Victoria to help communities rebuild after the devastating bushfires and storms that have severely affected parts of the state since December 2019. We stand ready and committed to helping these communities get back on their feet. Finally, the Australian Institute of Building Surveyors has implemented the Professional Standards Scheme, which is a significant step forward in improving professionalism and increasing confidence in building surveyors' capabilities. This will also assist in achieving better compliance with the Code of Conduct, with many of the requirements of the scheme aligning with the code. Under the scheme, AIBS monitor, enforce and improve the professional standards of members and ensures members participate in continuing professional development, adopt appropriate risk management strategies and processes, and are subject to complaints and disciplinary structure, all which will assist with reducing risks for consumers and build confidence in our profession. A key operational change for the VBA in February last year saw technical and regulations and audit and inspection teams join the Office of the State Building Surveyor. And this was with a view of putting all the technical functions under the one umbrella. The Tech and Reg team continues to provide technical advice and responded to large volumes of email and phone inquiries for practitioners. Some of those key figures relating to building Tech and Reg advice from recent months are shown on this slide. These include more than 6,500 emails last financial year, with almost 3,000 in the first half of this financial year. So far this year, we've seen a spike in phone inquiries with more than 5,500 calls received between July and December. Turning our attention to plumbing, tech and reg advice, they've similarly had larger volumes of calls. To complement our technical and regulatory advice and support, we also recently implemented a education resources working group for both building and plumbing that will tap into industry stakeholder knowledge to identify existing practice notes and guidance that needs to be updated or improved, and continue to identify new practice notes that are required. They will also look at prioritising this work, as the task is a significant one and will take considerable time to work through. Our stakeholder meetings have identified a number of areas of improvement that we are keen to develop, and it's hoped that these will provide an improved practitioner resource and improve consistency and understanding from industry. Proactive inspections also plays a key role in VBA's activities, and as you can see, we are undertaking a significant number of inspections in a year. The team has done a remarkable job in keeping up inspection activity this financial year, despite the large number of inspectors who were not undertaking inspections during the stage 4 COVID-19 restrictions last year, and our associated role in assisting with COVID site management requirements. As Sue mentioned, the stakeholders' perceptions survey undertaken late last year indicated the desire for announced inspections and more on-site inspection with inspectors. This feedback is important for us and will help evolve and enhance the program moving forward. In addition to monitoring industry compliance during construction, the proactive inspection program is a vital source of data and intelligence to support the VBA's risk-based regulatory activity. It also helps refine our future education and industry engagement initiatives. In an effort to provide more feedback to industry, the findings of the program are released quarterly, with a report and interactive webpage developed that allows practitioners and consumers to review recent program activities. We'll continue to develop our inspection activities and reporting to improve this feedback loop. Reflecting on the recent data from the proactive inspections program, we are on track to inspect more building permits than last year. In the first half of the financial year, almost 4,000 building inspections and more than 2,500 plumbing inspections have been undertaken. 40% of these inspections have identified compliance risks. This increase in percentage of compliance risks identified compared to previous years is a direct result of the VBA's intelligence-led approach to inspections and targeting areas of known non-compliance and risk. I'd now like to briefly just touch on our building audits as well, a topic that VBA Manager Building Audit, Keisha Wozniak, will discuss in more detail following this presentation. The VBA continues to develop its risk-based approach to select the most appropriate sites and building surveyors to audit. In addition to auditing of building surveyors, building permits and occupancy permits, the team undertook a targeted review of building permit documentation for 40 Class 1A buildings located within bushfire-prone areas across 8 municipalities in Victoria. Results from these audits have been presented to industry, and I recommend viewing a further presentation on our YouTube channel if you missed it for a summary of the findings. The VBA will continue to develop focused audit campaigns that provide an evidence base of an issue and allow appropriate education to not only building surveyors, but design practitioners that are responsible for the inadequate design documentation. And that's an important sort of step moving forward. Is a lot of the focus has been on building surveyors, and we are looking at how we can support better documentation and better compliance before it gets to the building surveyor. This is intended to result in an uplift in documentation standards, less reliance on building surveyors, and provide a better outcome for Victorians. In the coming weeks, we'll release our first report on the audit program on our website with further reports to come. 2021 was a breakthrough year for our practitioner education webinars, which offered practitioners an opportunity to gain valuable learnings from subject matter experts on a range of important topics. Some of the highlights from these series are included on this slide. We had Dr. Weng Po present on performance solutions ensuring design success. This webinar was attended by more than 800 practitioners, with one practitioner describing the session as the best masterclass they had attended in their 23-year career in the building industry. And Bronwyn's presentation on site inspections and enforcement, which was the most popular webinar of 2021 with about 1,200 attendees. The series has proved to be of mutual benefit to VBA and practitioners. The opportunity to provide education to practitioners on key topics is invaluable communication tool for the VBA, as is the opportunity for us to get feedback and an understanding of knowledge gaps that exist. They help shape future education series sessions and develop engaging content for practitioners. Recordings of the 2021 sessions are available on the VBA's website and YouTube channels, and I encourage you to take advantage of these and the other resources on our website and register to attend the upcoming practitioner education series. Looking ahead, 2022 shapes to be another busy year for the practitioner education series. So far, we've delivered 2 webinars relating to performance solutions, with a further 8 webinars proposed in 2022. Some of those topics are listed here, including our proactive inspection findings, toolbox talk, and findings of the VBA's important research into mould in buildings. Further to this series, the VBA will continue to use internal and external intelligence and data and our fire and structural engineering technical specialists to develop further education opportunities as they may arise. As 2022 continues, we have a number of focus areas. Central to this remains strengthening our profession by taking a leadership role in the retention and knowledge transfer strategies in place to increase the number of available building surveyors in Victoria. This includes further developing the career pathways program, trialling secondments with councils, and exploring similar opportunities with private building surveyors. Our audit and inspection team will continue to develop the risk-based approach and include greater oversight of new practitioner entrants, those that are recently registered, and interstate practitioners under the Auto Mutual Recognition Scheme, and implement an educative approach with them to ensure they are practicing the right behaviours as soon as they enter the profession. And in the case of AMR, practicing in a new jurisdiction. We look to continue working with the many stakeholders in the industry to improve the vital building control function in councils and the support of the MBS function. Engagement has never been so important and will form the linchpin of how we share and constructively implement new information, particularly future reform. I'll continue to engage regularly with relevant stakeholders to develop and maintain those relationships that will assist us with addressing industry issues and move towards solutions that hopefully will work for everybody. The Office of the State Building Surveyor Specialist team will support the work of the Office by leading stakeholder engagements in their areas of expertise and providing input into regulatory reforms. And importantly, reviewing current and emerging building risks, issues, technologies, and research. We'll continue to enhance our activities, and this will include auditing of the permits to include code of conduct and administrative items. Through these audits, we'll continue gathering intelligence and hope to be able to provide more feedback and education for industry. The VBA's recent work on developing its data capabilities and sourcing intelligence internally and externally is going to provide further opportunities for our programs to become more sophisticated and in their ability to target high-risk practitioners and sites. So I might, given time, just close up and thank those many people who have worked tirelessly on preparing this conference. It's a big task and your efforts are greatly appreciated. And of course, a thank you to all of you for attending this year's Building Surveyors Conference. I'm confident that our industry is moving in the right direction. It still requires lots of hard work by us all and will require ongoing patience and participation by you all. But the green shoots are there, and the green shoots are there to set us up to succeed for the years to come. And the VBA is committed to ensuring Victoria's building and plumbing industries thrive and prosper for years to come. I hope you enjoy the remainder of the conference, and thank you for your time today.